The leaders of South Korea, Japan, and China are gathering in Seoul ahead of talks aimed at improving relations. It's the first trilateral meeting between the three neighbors in more than 4 years, and there's much to discuss, with trade, climate change, and disaster response all on the table. However, the official agenda doesn't include discussion around North Korea's nuclear program or China's territorial dispute over Taiwan and the South China Sea. For more on this, let's bring in journalist Frank Smith in Seoul. Frank, this is a rare trilateral summit between these nations. What are the expectations?
Well, the expectations are pretty low given the context you just mentioned. The South Korean government released the agenda. It included climate change, trade, health, aging, technology, disasters, but it didn't include regional security, really, or it made vague allusions to promoting international peace. When looking around the region, there is certainly security tension, especially given China's recent military exercises surrounding Taiwan. So that discussion is something that many observers suggest may take place in the background and really needs to be addressed moving forward. Michael?
And Frank, following up on the thread that you're weaving there, the Chinese leader, Xi Jinping, won't be attending. Does this tell us something about the current diplomatic relations between these countries and what can actually be accomplished at these talks?
I think certainly it does. South Korea and Japan are allies of the United States. We've seen an increase in U.S., South Korea, Japan military cooperation over the past couple of years. Yoon Suk-yeol restarted previously suspended large-scale joint military exercises. China view these as a threat to them, while the U.S. and South Korea say they're really aimed at North Korea. Beijing sees this otherwise, and they are concerned that South Korea and Japan are going to strengthen that alliance with the United States further in Washington's efforts to further contain China. Michael?
North Korea's weapons program is part of the backdrop to this meeting. To what extent can these countries work together when it comes to this issue?
I think that's really a tough one here. South Korea and Japan, of course, they want to see these long-range missile tests that North Korea has engaged in, especially ramped up over the past year and a half or so. They want to see those contained. They certainly don't want to see North Korea move further to develop its nuclear technology. There are also increasing concerns about North Korea sending weapons to Russia for use in its attack on Ukraine. At the same time, China has previously provided North Korea cover at the United Nations Security Council in terms of sanctions against North Korea. And South Korea recently in their state media had an interesting story where they said, while North Korea is sending lethal aid to Russia, China is not. So certainly Japan and South Korea perhaps will make further efforts toward encouraging Beijing to rein in North Korea, both in terms of its nuclear and missile technology and in terms of its support for Russia's war on Ukraine. Michael?
That's journalist Frank Smith in Seoul. Frank, thanks very much.